There have been various attempts by the government to deal with the various challenges faced in the transport sector. Such challenges have been experienced in the majority of the major roads within the outskirts of the urban center of Nairobi. Various attempts by government to deal with the existing infrastructure challenges have been drawn from the transport sector, which include reconstruction and expansion of major roads like Thika Road, Waiyaki Way, and Outer Ring Road. This has been one of the moves by the government in decongesting the traffic flow towards the town centre.
At least 500
have been left homeless
as the government moved to clear part of the slum to pave way for road construction.
The infrastructure development has failed to take into account the social dimensions of infrastructure, ending up in dispossessions and displacement.
As a developing country, we have our own challenges. And one of the challenges we have is resources. As an institution in charge of roads, the cost of road production, road construction, is already too high. So if you load it again, it's issues to do with settlement, I don't think you will be doing any justice to the country.
What kind of decisions are made in the way money or resources are put into our urban areas to make the lives of our peoples better?
Sami Omolo, a head teacher at the Kambete Community Child Center, is among the settlers affected directly by the ongoing road expansion and has been issued an eviction notice.
Tumepigwa na mshangao kwa ajili ya hii barabara ya World Bank wanajenga kupitia kwa Kenya, the James Kishuru Riloni Road. Wamekuja kupima almost a third of the kijiji where we are staying, affecting our 4 classes ambao na pamoja na hii abolition block. Shida ile tuko nayo kuhusu mambo ya hii barabara and the fate ya kijiji pamoja na shule.
The school was established in 1990 to offer affordable education for the children of the evicted community from Molo. It was this backdrop that the Utafiti Sera House, hosted by PAMOJA Trust through Partnership for African Social and Governance Research, convened to provide evidence based on research that can help tackle the infrastructure bottlenecks.
Being a country that has been established on the basis of either too much informality or inadequate transformation of land-tenure and property relation, such investments tend to pose enormous challenge to a significant number of residents.
Stakeholders identified issues like relocation and resettlement, participation, among others, framed social dimensions of infrastructure which are often not taken into consideration during project developments.
Is it just development for the sake of development? Or does this development have the needs, the aspirations, the values, the cultures of the people around which this infrastructure has been developed?
The issues identified were achieved through vigorous synthesis of evidence, borrowing from the Utafiti sera ideology.
It's a very interesting idea because it comes from the Swahili word research policy, and it's about research policy communities using research evidence to help attain or advance policies that are beneficial to the people.
Meanwhile, the improvement of Outer Ring Road has posed a different threat to the social livelihood of the users and urban settlers within its environs. Lack of designated bus stops and pedestrian footbridge has created a safety concern. This has socially impacted the livelihood of the settlers along these road reserves where such projects are taking place.
You can call it an idea whose time had come. That there were various things going on, there were implementation of certain policies and administrative actions that are not backed by 1, critical research, number 2, purposive and harmonious action by the implementers, 3, the constitutional edict of the time that requires engagement beyond just the government and the implementers, but also the people.
The first part of the process was to gather evidence. There were anecdotal claims, but we needed those claims to be framed and to show a clear cause-effect relation. So we did a detailed synthesis on what was a manifestation of the road construction project, and we realized that there were reported evictions, there were reported dispossession, there were some cases where there were violence, but there were also cases where the government and the funders went through enormous losses because the project stalled for many, many years, some even for as long as 3 years. At that point, we realized that one of the biggest gaps was the absence of a framework for engagement. And so we decided as a house that for us, infrastructure was going to be a governance question. It's on that basis that we collectively developed what we call a stakeholders engagement framework, which was picked up very well by Kenya, and Kenya developed one for a particular project in Mombasa.
Some of the stakeholders hosted by PAMOJA Trust under the Utafiti Sera House have since seen the importance of incorporating social aspects during infrastructure development.
When we did Outer Ring Road, one of the things we realized was there were so many people doing business along the road. We talked to our development partners and they listened to us. We also talked to our stakeholder, the city county, and they listened to us. And that is why we are putting up an 800 million market, which is ready now, because we wanted to move those people from the streets to a market.
PAMOJA Trust has succeeded in claiming its legitimacy in the work with the urban low-income settlements in Kenya. So it is something that the ordinary people living in the low-income settlements trust. It's an organization. They're on the same side. It's an organization that will have our back. But it's also a professional organization. It brings in professional knowledge, professional expertise. But it's also an advocacy organization. PAMOJA Trust speaks with the poor in amplifying their issues. 24/7, it lives on this problem. And that was why PASGR decided to work with PAMOJA Trust.
We, as PAMOJA Trust, having been part of the anti-evictions movement for many years, thought that it is not appropriate to have a situation where roads and railway bring more damage than good, dispossess more than builds asset base, excludes rather than includes. So then we brought together actors in the built environment. We have a road construction company, both highway construction and urban roads. We have civil society organizations. We have people from the Aegis Chamber, and we have people from other civil society organizations. And the aim was to ensure that these mega projects benefit rather than displace and dispossess the citizens.